let's continue with the next topic, serialization of multiple objects in the same file or to the same file. Now say there is a class A, class B, class C, all of them together can I serialize, or do I need different programs to serialize different files? Nothing of that kind. Here, can you see these classes? There is a class bike, there is a class car, there is a class called rickshaw. All of them together are there in one file, and all of them separately are implementing the serializable interface. Okay, and then I'm creating 3 objects here. Can you see? O1 of type bike, T1 of type car, and R1 of type rickshaw. And these are the 2 normal steps for creating a file and connecting the object output stream to the file. We have mn.txt. Now I go ahead and write these 3 objects. Okay, I'm writing the bike object, the car object, and the rickshaw object. There is a certain order. Okay, I'm writing O1 first, which is the bike object. I'm writing T1 the second, which is the car object, and then I'm writing the R1, which is the rickshaw object. So here, by the end of this, I have a file mn.txt. Into that, I'm putting objects of different classes. I have 3 classes here. What about reading the same objects? This is the usual method, the 2 lines for deserialization, and I'm reading the objects in the same order. Do you notice O1 I have written, I will read O2 first. Okay, then T1 I have written, I am reading T2 second. R1 I have written, I will read R3 the third. That means if I take care of the order, then multiple objects can be written to a file and can be read from the file easily without any issue. Okay, I will just execute this and show. Here, see, it is printing these 3 objects. 3 objects are being written. I am not displaying anything here, but the 3 objects are being printed also. That means when I take care of the order, then I have no problem. The serialization, deserialization will happen properly. But what if I change the order? Say for instance, this is like somebody doing half the job and the next day someone else comes and continues it. Then we have a problem. That is when we have the second scenario here. When you know the order of serialization, that's what I meant in this sentence. When the order is known, order of serialization is known, then I know in the same order I have to deserialize. What if I don't know the order? Maybe the first object got first, second, third, maybe maybe the 3, 2, 1, the order is different. What do I do that time? Okay, in such an instance, what we have to do is, we have to create an instance of the object class. The object class, as we know, is the parent class for all the classes, right? So, using the object class, I'll just show you in Java how it works. The object class we have, and we use this instance of operator. Look at this example, for instance. There are 3 classes, the rose, the jasmine, the lily. Each of them have one variable each, y, h, and k, for instance. And here, I will write one of the objects for now. I am creating 3 objects now. On1 for rose, tw1 for jasmine, and tr1 for lily. Out of these 3 objects, I am writing only one of them. Okay, or one of them, or in the changed order. Now, if I try to read, obviously I don't know which object I am reading. This is what I meant by not knowing the order. So when I read, can you see this sentence? OB is an object of class object, of the parent object class, java.lang.object. I am using the read object method. Okay, once I read the object, I have to check. I have this operator called instance of. I have to check whether the object belongs to the first one, the second one, or the third one. Based on this, see, if this one, second one for instance, if OB is an instance of Jasmine, then I have to go ahead and use these two lines wherein TW2 will be created based on OB, which is Jasmine. Or else, if OB is the instance of the third file, the third class, then I'm going and creating TH2, which is part of the Lily class here. So when I don't know what object or what order it is, now I can put this in a while loop and read all the objects that are there in the file one after the other. So the technique here is using this instance of the object class is OB and then check OB is an instance of 1, 2 or 3. This is how I go about when I don't know which order to deal with. Going ahead with the next slide. Here we are already aware of these two methods, write object and read object. We can make these two methods, throw an IO exception and throw this exception, not serializable exception, both the places. Okay, while writing and reading, it says not serializable exception and a message you can put serialization not supported on this object. And the same message can go here. So both these methods we can override and I can ensure that serialization doesn't happen. I'm trying to serialize this object of MNO, okay, which has a variable k in it. Object 1 is of type MNO. I'm displaying it. But here, this is the normal serialization process for one object. And here is the deserialization process for the second object. When I do this, say for instance, if I execute the code, see, it's throwing an error. We made it throw an error because we don't want, see, serialization not supported on this object. Can you see this? This is one of the techniques to stop serialization within the code in case we want. Okay, we are overriding these two methods and writing, making it throw IO exception, throw new not serializable exception. This is the exception that gets thrown even normally when I don't implement the serializable interface and I'm throwing this message in both the places. Okay, so to sum up, we can override the default serialization behavior inside our Java class by providing implementation for both these methods, write object and read object. And we can also make the code throw this not serializable exception from the write object or the read object if we don't want the class to serialize or deserialize.